Lord of the Flies, Chapter 12, Cry of the Hunters, by William Golding, presented by Patrick, Nitin, Nurin, Merina, and Minwoo, in plain English.
Ralph finally faces his biggest showdown with savagery, as he approaches Castle Rock on a mission to convince Sam and Eric to come back to his tribe. Ralph speaks to a frightened twin about leaving the savages and joining him again, but after further discussion, Sam and Eric do not want to go back, and they are afraid of Jack and the other savages. Instead, Sam and Eric send him off with some meat and a plan to mislead the rest of the tribe. However, before Ralph leaves, Sam and Eric tell him about what the other savages are up to.
Roger sharpened the stick at both ends,
says Sam and Eric to Ralph. Baffled by this statement, Ralph thinks,
"What did it mean? A stick sharpened at both ends. What was there in that?"
This shows that the savages' plans for Ralph were that they wanted his head as a sacrifice for the beast. As Jack and his tribe don't respect Ralph as a human being, they want to perform the same sacrifice to Ralph as they performed with the pig. Ralph decides to go back to the thicket in the jungle and hide close to the Castle Rock.
"They will not think to look that close,"
says Ralph. Ralph then stays in the thicket for the night. After a while of searching for Ralph, the savages resort to torturing one of the twins in order to find the location of Ralph. Jack interrogates and tortures one of the twins into giving him information about Ralph's whereabouts.
He meant he'd hide in there?
Yes. Ow!
This characterizes Jack as malevolent. He harms others and to get what he wants and when he wants it. One of the twins is not able to take it anymore and tells Ralph's location to Jack. Therefore, Ralph was found. The savages attempt to get at Ralph. First, they try to roll boulders onto the thicket in order to break through it. Yet this does not achieve much, as the thicket was way too strong. They then try to wriggle into the thicket one by one, but they are fended off by the well-armed Ralph. Out of ideas, Jack utilizes Piggy's glasses and sets fire to the jungle in the last-ditch effort to kill Ralph. Ralph runs away through the burning jungle, while being chased by savages. As you can see, Jack is only thinking about what he wants to happen in the moment and not about the future, like the burning of their own food. This also displays just how much Jack resents Ralph, as he is willing to give up his future survival to be able to kill him. This makes him a bad leader, compared to Ralph, who thought of how they were going to eat tomorrow if the fire reaches the fruit trees. Anyways, back to the intense story. Ralph finally escapes the jungle and onto the beach, where he's outflanked and vulnerable. Ralph almost gives up, but he looks up and sees a man, the first one he'd seen in a long time. This man is a naval officer, who had arrived on their island after seeing the fire that Jack and his tribe had started to get able to attack Ralph. Clearly this is very ironic, because he had been trying to get Jack to start a fire that would save them, and throughout the story, Jack refused. Ironically, in the end, Jack did start the fire that saved them, but he really made it an attempt to kill Ralph. Anyways, back to the story. Jack and his tribe caught up with Ralph and saw the officer.
Who's in charge here?
Asked the officer to Ralph. Quick to respond, he answers,
"I am."
The officer then interrogates the children about what they had been doing during the time on the island, and is thoroughly surprised as to the response.
"To kill. I don't know."
The officer seemed disgusted at the boys' behavior on the island. At this, the children began to cry. Golding concludes this story with a quote. Ralph wept for the end of innocence, the darkness of man's heart, and the fall through the air of a true, wise friend called Piggy. This shows that if not controlled, the inherently evil in all men will emerge, as well as the fact that not even the most civilized person in the world could fight off savagery if civilization is not forced. The end.